In this video, we study the faults and error codes related to temperature sensors that an air conditioner from the HAIR brand may have. 1. Indoor ambient temperature sensor. This sensor measures the return air temperature, which is sucked in by the fan of the indoor unit, to average the temperature of the room being air-conditioned. For most HAIR equipment, a fault in the indoor ambient temperature sensor is denoted by code E1, which means the sensor is sending abnormal signal values, either due to an open circuit or a short circuit. In some HAIR models, code F6 is also related to this fault. 2. Well sensor. The well sensor measures the direct temperature of the evaporator to determine if there is freezing in the coil. A fault in the indoor coil temperature sensor in HAIR equipment is generally denoted by code E2 and is identified as an open or short-circuited sensor. In some models, code F21 is also related to this fault. 3. Outdoor air temperature sensor. This sensor measures the air temperature sucked in by the fan of the outdoor unit of the HAIR equipment to average the temperature of the outdoor environment. In HAIR equipment, generally, when there is a fault in this sensor, error code E3 is shown, identifying a short-circuited or open sensor. 4. Refrigerant gas temperature sensor. At the suction of the compressor in the HAIR air conditioner. When there are problems with this sensor in a HAIR unit, and the sensor is short-circuited or open, code F7 is generated. 5. Refrigerant gas temperature sensor at the compressor discharge. Many HAIR units identify this fault with error codes F4 and F25. Since the diagnostic procedure for any temperature sensor is practically the same, let's look at the following recommendations to address any of the above fault codes. 1. Check the sensor connections. 2. Clean the connections. 3. Confirm the correct position of the sensor. 4. Measure the electrical resistance of the sensor with a multimeter on the kilo-ohm scale. To do this, disconnect the sensor from the electronic board. The value measured by the multimeter should not be 0 or infinite and should decrease when the sensor is warmed by hand. If you have the equipment manual, check if the resistance value measured by the multimeter matches the resistance value indicated in the manual. 5. Check the voltage supply that the board provides to the sensor. To do this, without disconnecting the sensor, measure the voltage at the sensor connection with a multimeter on the DC voltage scale. The voltage should be around 2.5 V. Lastly, remember that often disconnecting the power to the unit for several minutes and then restarting the unit can solve an error code problem when there is no real fault. Also, remember to check the rotation of the fans and the cleanliness of the outdoor and indoor units.